Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be in your company today. My name is Marjana Zinoub. I just turned 18. I'm a high school student here in Morocco, and ambassador for the Young Report for the Environment Program, a program implemented by the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection. My colleague Samson Ayumid and I will be co-moderating today's site event. Mr. Ayomid is the ambassador of the African Youth Climate Hub in Nigeria and social impact entrepreneur born and raised in northern underserved community in Nigeria, which is why I'm really honored to be sharing with him this wonderful moderation today of our event entitled African Youth at the Forefront of Ocean Protection, a cross-program synergy for sustainable education and environmental stewardship. Um, Today's session will be divided in 4 sessions, 4 roundtables. And so for our first roundtable, we will be discussing, innovating education for sustainability, where our first speaker will be Mr. Ayman Sharqawi, Director of the Hassan II International Environmental Training Center, coordinator of the Mohammed VI Foundation Prize for the Climate and Sustainable Development and Deputy Chair of the IUC and World Commission of Environmental Law. Mr. Sharqawi will be giving us an insight about innovative education initiatives centered on ocean sustainability, highlighting joint efforts and exchange programs that empower youth, especially in Africa, to lead marine conservation and sustainable ocean management. Mr. Sharqawi, thank you for being with us today. And the floor is yours.
Thank you. All the pleasure is mine. Thank you very much, Marjana, for your moderation. Always inspired by the way you lead. It's very inspiring. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
So on behalf of the Hassan II International Center for Environmental Training, which is the academic arm of the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection, I just want to say quickly a few words. First, I would like to thank all co-organizers for having engaged with us in a very constructive manner for us to put this event together. It is much appreciated, very much in support and appreciative of UNESCO, IOC, and the Foundation for Environmental Education, as well as other institutions represented by some of their thought leaders. I know that we also have the UNFCCC Secretariat that will be intervening later. We have ECOP, of course. We have representatives of some of our, we have the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie that will be speaking a bit later, and much appreciated to them and anybody that I may have forgotten. So to address your question, the foundation, of course, under the leadership of Her Royal Highness Princess Al Hasna, has been focused on youth from day one. And of course, Moroccan youth, but more broadly, African youth. And I'm happy to see my good friend Hatim as well. I see his image, very, very one of sources of our pride as well. And his leadership as well is much appreciated. So we do that through different ways. And we have, of course, the Education for Sustainable Development cell of the center, which itself is the academic arm of the foundation that is, of course, coordinated by my colleague Miriam Khodari, and also comprises in my colleague Mr. Farid Alawi. And the activities that we do through that cell are among the most impressive and inspiring that we do, because we start from kindergarten children. It's amazing to see the level of creativity and energy, and beyond just being adorable, what they do and how passionate they are and how quick they are to learn, and to also teach some of their perspectives and views on this. And we then grow with them. We grow with them, including, of course, primary school through EcoSchools program in close partnership with the Foundation for Environmental Education, Young Reporters for the Environment, Global Schools. And then we have initiatives that are by nature Pan-African, which is very much at the core of the event today, and that tends to be quite often at the core of the activities that we do. And I don't want to be too long, but specifically, I will rest on 2 points. The last 2 points I will make. Hopefully, I'll keep my promise and I'll add a third one. One of which is, of course, the focus on ocean. Ocean has been at the center of the foundation since day one. Her Royal Highness Princess Al Hasna has been recognized for her leadership as the chair of the foundation by UNEP, but also by UNESCO, IOC, as one of the patron of the United Nations Ocean Decade for Sustainable United Nations Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development that started in 2021, and the foundation of course, is one of the active members in that sense. We have more than 30 activities of the foundation and our partners that have been recognized officially as contributing to the decade. And we've hosted all kind of activities, all kind of programs, and we're very much looking forward to the next steps, including, of course, in the context of the Nice Ocean Summit just in a couple of months from now. So that matters very much to us. And that brings me to the second point I wanted to rest on, which is the African youth program that we have. We have 3 of them at this point, 2 programs. One is something that we're incubating and we have launched a few months ago, and that is very much active, and we'll be very much looking forward to continuing that. So the 2 that are established are the African Youth Climate Hub. In the interest of time, I won't say more, but Hatim is very familiar with that. And the African Green Universities and Youth Education Network as well, that are Africa-wide initiatives where we're always keen to respond to and echo the voices and actions of African youth when it comes to climate and sustainable development, but also, of course, the ocean. And the last point within that space is something that we launched last year, which is the capacity building program on oceanography for young Africans. And this is a 3-phase program. We had around almost 1,000 individuals from across the continent that registered to this program. For the phase 1, that was fully online. And at the end of phase 1, there was an evaluation through an actual quiz, but also through case studies. And from that pool, we selected a number of leaders, and all of them, of course, that took part in this program were very interesting. But at some point, we needed to make a choice, and 12 of them will be going through phase 2 and 3 of this program, and that is taking part in concrete expeditions on the sea, on boats, and also taking part in internships in Morocco, in close partnership, of course, with the National Institute of Fisheries Research. This is also a program we're very proud to have as a partner, the ECOP program, of course, that is affiliated with the IOC, as well as other stakeholders. So I'll rest here. I've been already very long, and I'm far more interested in hearing what our other interveners have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shakari, for your valuable perspective. As you said, starting from kindergartens and from such a younger age can have a wider impact on youth, and that's a really interesting point. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing from you again soon. Let's move on to our next speaker. So our second speaker for this session will be Mr. Edwin Mwashinga. Sorry for my pronunciation. Program Officer at UNESCO, Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission. Edwin is a program officer at the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission, Subcommission for Africa of UNESCO. His main programmatic areas of work are the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, acting as the focal point for the Ocean Decade in Africa through spearheading the implementation of the Ocean Decade Africa Roadmap. It's with an immense pleasure to have you with us today. With that, I'll pass things over to you. Mr. Mwashinga, are you with us?
Yes, thank you so much, Maritana. I hope you can hear me, and thank you for the good pronunciation of my name. You really hacked it. And it's a pleasure actually to be involved in such a beautiful and engaging initiative with the Mohammed VI Foundation. And yeah, IOC Africa always loves to collaborate and to partner with like-minded organizations. And in this case, the Mohammed VI Foundation is really a good partner with us. So to respond quickly to your question, I'll say IOC-UNESCO plays a pivotal role in the advancement of ocean science, capacity strengthening, and education for sustainable development. IOC has led several youth-focused initiatives that are contributing to shaping a new generation of Africa ocean experts, scientists, and enthusiasts. It continues to strengthen partnerships and collaboration with other like-minded organizations and institutions, and in this front, to continue just to significantly empower young Africans and ECOPs in that case by creating opportunities for engagement, leadership and skills development in ocean protection, sustainability, conservation, restoration, and management. Our organization firmly believes that we can sustainably harness ocean resources in Africa for the development of our continent's economy, and that our young professions and experts are the engine that is required to propel this drive. So some of our existing initiatives in this matter include co-designing youth-led programs. We ensure that young people are engaged as equal partners in shaping solutions. And these are transformative solutions that really have an impact on the ground and communities for the advancement of our ocean economy. For instance, the Ocean Decade Youth Advisory Council is one of our powerful examples for this, ensuring that the perspectives of young people are taken into consideration and inform global ocean science and policy efforts by fostering ownership, leadership, and innovation amongst young people. The early career ocean professionals, I think if Ginia is here with us today, and I want to laud that ECO program, is also another excellent initiative under the Ocean Decade, which is a movement that is led and driven by the young experts. And it amplifies the engagement of young, we have an African node, young Africans and even global leaders in leading and generating transformative solutions and actions that lead to sustainable development of our ocean. Another key area that IOC works on and young people are really involved in is our work on integrating ocean literacy into education systems. IOC spearheads ocean literacy efforts, both informal and informal and informal education systems, and it promotes this ocean literacy to ensure that humans understand their impact on the ocean and what the ocean impacts on them. So young Africans are currently leading a number of initiatives across the regions focusing on ocean literacy, and this is also supported very much by IOC. Consequently, through our partners like Mohammed VI Foundation, and as Charuki has highlighted, they have successfully introduced ocean awareness in the regions and in the countries and community activities using very interactive methods and localized resources. So these initiatives have continued to create and to develop the connection between young people and the ocean from a very early age. Equally important is our capacity development and community embedded trainings. IOC prides itself as a capacity development institution. It's actually one of our mandates, and we do this with different kind of trainings. We organize trainings. We support young Africans to attend global fora and conferences. Recently, we just concluded a call of support for African ECOPs to attend the UNESCO 3 conference, and we've received great applications for that, and we are shortlisting currently, and we'll be able to support at least 12 young Africans to attend the UNESCO conference. We just recently in March, late March, we did a training of trainers for marine and biosphere reserves, people involved in marine biosphere reserves, to enhance their skills and knowledge in management of marine resources, and also making sure that they utilize these biosphere reserve as learning, as laboratories for learning and research. So we did that training in Zanzibar, where we brought in 10 young people from different countries in Africa, and they learned, and it was a great initiative for knowledge and experience sharing, especially for youth who are from seeds and are really involved in ocean conservation. just to finish my intervention, I think finally we have created digital storytelling and creative engagements, which are powerful tools in the current global initiatives for youth, or to raise their voices in terms of advocating for the ocean. So we are currently leading a campaign under the Ocean Decade called the Generation Ocean, and other UNESCO IOC multimedia competitions, where we enable young people to be really involved and to speak in a way that they think they will attract the voice of and the ears and the audiences of the masses of the global population. So these are some of the few initiatives that we engage in. And as Charuki was saying, I think IOC is also very much interested in enhancing our collaboration with Mohammed VI, especially when he mentioned about the Africa Green Climate Youth Hub, the African Green Youth Program, and the capacity building initiative on oceanography. And we are really great to have Mohammed VI as a close partner, and we will continue to support and to collaborate with them to ensure that the ocean is really the awareness on ocean science and education is really made is really enhanced in Africa and the globe. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your heartwarming words, because especially as an 18-year-old, I do feel impacted and inspired by your words, words that really do resonate, trust me. And I thank you for that, especially when you said as equal partners, talking about youth. So it's really nice to see that youth are actually being recognized and being heard, and feel like their voices and perspectives and point of views are actually valued. So again, thank you very much for your intervention. Just before moving on to our next speaker, I would like to say that at the very end of the session, there will be a Q&A. So feel free to ask any questions in the group chat and we'll come back to them later. Okay, perfect. We then have our next speaker, Mr. Johan Durand, who is the International Blue Flag Director at the Foundation for Environmental Education. Born and raised in France, Johan is 36 years old and has been working for the Blue Flag International Program since October 2013. Johan has experience in working with local, national, and international nonprofit organizations dedicated to education for sustainable development and sustainable tourism, and believes education to be a vital tool for a positive change. And I would undoubtedly agree on that part. And with that, I'll pass things over to you, Mr. Johan.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for the facilitation, and thank you very much for my co-panelists and of course the participants. So I'm Johan, I'm the International Director for the Blue Flag Program. I work for the Foundation for Environmental Education. And right before starting with a very short presentation, I just want to say, usually I do have a shirt and a tie as well, but I thought that would be more appropriate to show you the t-shirt I received 12 years ago joining the foundation as an intern for the Young Reporters for the Environment program at the international head office. So I can definitely vouch for the impact of that program at the global level. And just to look back on what you said, youth has a lot to share, and this is very impressive. So very quickly, I'm in charge of the Blue Flag program, which is one of the few programs of the foundation. I have the chance to lead this program with my colleagues at the international level. And this is a network of over 50 countries, Morocco being part of one, led by the Mohammed VI Foundation. My dear colleagues, thank you very much. So this is a certification for the beach, the marina, and the tourism boats area. Part of our criteria, this is of course, education is at the center of it, and community-led activities. All the programs of the foundation, they've been mentioned, eco schools and young reporters for the environment. What I want to share with you, I'm not going to go into very much detail. I'm sure a lot of things will be said about these programs, Just last week, we had the Blue Flag International Jury. This is the highest body delivering the certification for all sites worldwide. And sitting in this jury, we do have UNESCO, UNEP, UN tourism organizations, and many other organizations. And what we try to do every year and pushing for even more, that's collaborations between programs. Our dear partner at UNESCO is pushing to have Blue Flag sites as implementation sites for the eco schools and YRE programs. So the whole point about fostering youth education for the ocean, this is providing opportunities and local environment for them to learn, to express, and become young leaders. I do see, I can vouch, for example, the Young Reporters for the Environment, to not only pushing for sustainability and education through journalism, and recently we've launched the podcasts and other innovative sharing programs, but this is becoming a young leaders, young ambassadors program. For many years, we've been bringing with us YRE students at different COP events through the foundation. And I will be pleased to be in Nice for the UN Ocean Conference. And I'm very pleased to know that the Mohammed VI Foundation will bring YRE students for side events as well. So to be very brief, I would like to share also another initiative from our network, from WESA, our member organization in South Africa. I definitely encourage all of you to look into an initiative they've launched with the Ministry of Tourism there called Tourism Blue Flag. That's an initiative between YRE, the Blue Flag program in South Africa, the Ministry of Environment, to bring youth from townships in South Africa and bring them, teach them, train them to become beach stewards and future tourism professionals. So this is one initiative that I would like to share and recommend to look into. At last, for all young leaders, youth, and future professionals, especially the ones being either engaged with the Mohammed VI Foundations or having their own NGOs, in partnership with IOC-UNESCO, and I was very privileged to be part of the NGO task force of the UN Decade on Ocean Literacy. Sorry, it's much easier for me to say ocean literacy instead of the very long name. We've edited a manual for NGOs and young leaders to harness all opportunities, how to make use of that decade to engage and also promote your own activities. So my takeaway message, it's most important, provide opportunities for youth. They'll know how to seize them, they'll know how to grow them, and then on our side, we will have done our job. Push them, give them the chance, their opportunities, and they will also show us the way. Thank you.
Thank you for these inspiring words. I would just like to add that beside advocacy for climate change, I do feel honored to have another point in common with you, which is that same t-shirt. I have the exact same one at home. And so I really, yeah, exactly. I really do feel really happy to at least share something else with you. So our final speaker of the session will be Hatim Rashib, a young Moroccan entrepreneur and advocate for sustainable development that I've made a lot of memories with on both national and international levels, such as COP28 in Dubai. Hatim is committed to leveraging technology and innovating to advance the sustainable development goals. As Young Report for the Environment since 2020, he has amplified youth voices in global sustainability efforts, winning the YRE National Jury Prize and later contributing to international forums as a speaker at COP27 and COP28. He is also a future sustainability leader recognized by Masdar and has participated in major events such as the World Environmental Education Congress and Abu Dhabi Sustainable Week. Hatim, it is your time to shine his come.
Thank you very much. I hope you're listening to me very well. Everything is good?
Yeah, we do. Everything's perfect. Yes.
I want to share the same points, is that I have the same t-shirts. I have 3 Younger Photos for the Environment t-shirts. One is a gift from YRE Portugal, and 2 were gifts from the FI. I'm very happy that I have them. I have them in my collection. I want to start by thanking you thanking the foundation for giving me a chance to be here with you today. I want to thank all the panelists, and I cannot wait to hear from each and every one of you. And of course, thank you, Morjana, for the beautiful, beautiful introduction. I was born in a small city called Tiznit. It's in the southern part of Morocco, and it's 15 kilometers away from the nearest beach. And I was raised listening and watching Bondif. I don't know if you know about Bondif, the song Bondif, Ana Bondif. Surprisingly, a few years ago, I found out that it was a campaign by the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environment Protection that started in 1999. So that blew up my mind. And of course, you cannot imagine what a small video could do to a child at that age. When I was 14, I joined the Young Reporters for the Environment, a program that is implemented by the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection in Morocco, led by Her Highness Princess Al Hassan. It's a program that empowers young people to speak out about local issues through the medium of journalism, which is exactly what I've done with my team in Tiznit. We've discussed and shared our opinions about plastic pollution. We've interviewed people from the local commune, local stakeholders that are contributing to the local economy through plastic production. And at the end, we give recommendations and solutions for us young people to adopt at an early age. Little did I know, I found out that the video has garnered attraction locally, and it led me to win the Young Reporters for the Environment Prize. And I think that was a spark in my environmental journey. Later on, as a young reporter for the environment, with my fellow YREs, we've been a part of the Youth and World Environmental Educational Congress in the Czech Republic. We've been a part of the COP27, COP28, and I was with Morjana lately in COP28, and many international and national events. The beautiful thing here is that you meet people that are solving the same problem, but from different parts of the world, and solving them from different perspectives. So that was good. We say at the foundation, once a YRE, always a YRE, but beside being a YRE, now I have joined the AGRIA network, the African Green Universities, the University and the Youth Education Network. It's a program that promotes environmental education through campus mobilization, joint research, but on a university level. And what you see here is a beautiful complementarity and synergy between all foundations programs. This ensures that young people are empowered, that no person is left behind throughout their youth journey, all the way starting from the ECOSOC program. I recently got the news about my middle school. They've joined the network, to the Young Reporters for the Environment, to AGRIAN and other initiatives such as the African Youth Climate Hub, the Harbour Plastic Initiative, and other initiatives. I love to talk. If you let me up, I will not finish. But because this event is a side event of the ECOSOC Youth Forum, I have a small message for young people. Whether you just finished high school, graduated university, out looking for a job, or starting your own venture, this is for you. Whether it's never too late to start caring about our climate, but it's very good to start early. It makes the difference. I think what holds us back as young people is feeling powerless and thinking that it's too complex to handle and to get to know, but it's wrong. I have a 3-step roadmap to share with you. First, identify a problem that you're most passionate about, and trust me, there are millions and millions of problems out there. 2, network with people that are already solving that problem. 3, join the network, volunteer, and expect nothing in return. Because at the end, it's not about your job title, your salary, or how much papers you publish, or what is the name of your university, but the impact that you make on your local community, on the world, and on your future. As young people, we're here to help each other. Institutions like the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection and the FEE are here to support you. But the first action, the first step must come from you. So make it a big step. Thank you very much, Morjana.
You're welcome, Hatim. It's always such a pleasure to have you with us, such a pleasure to have discussions with you. It's always so fruitful and so impactful and really heartwarming, as I said earlier, because to see that someone from the same age, I'd say gap from me is this involved in this field. And as you said, we really need to choose what we really want to talk about and what really touches our hearts the deepest. And yeah, so I'm really happy to hear from you today. So now let's move on to the questions, the Q&A, right? So we have a question from the audience for Mr. Sherkawi. So Mr. Sherkawi, could you please share with us concrete examples or programs or partnerships implemented by the foundation that illustrate multi-sectoral collaboration aimed at environmental education, ocean sustainability, and capacity building in Morocco and across Africa?
Thank you very much. So yeah, on this particular question, so we have several, of course. We heard it's also very well represented here through both of you, Marjana and Hatim, as young reporters for the environment, former or current. I think we have, and this is a very important program that we do, and that is indeed cross-sectional because we do cover sectoral, sorry, because each year there's a different topic that is covered, but in addition to the actual competition, we also make sure to provide opportunities for individuals, and again, you're representing that quite concretely, but to engage, whether it is at the international level in conferences, COP28, for example, we supported the participation of one young reporter for the environment for each region, or in additional activities, and even in activities here at the center, where I'm speaking from, when we have international events or national events, that are maybe sometimes more targeted to older experts. We also make sure to have our younger experts with us as well, so that they can contribute and engage in these conversations. So that's one of them. Another example specifically on ocean, and I'm very happy to Johan for referring to our engagement in the Blue Flag. It is a high priority for us, one of our most strategic programs that we implement in Morocco. And in that sense, we engage very closely with local authorities, with local private sector, with local civil society organization across the coastline of Morocco to make sure that we have a science-based, rigorous approach that is inclusive and that is also compliant to the requirements of the international jury that Johan was referring to. Another example of that at the national level, because I think Morocco was what was indicated, we'll give two. One is, of course, the Bhar Bla Plastic campaign, which has been one of our central campaigns for several years now, and that has enjoyed recognition at the international level, including by our partners from the Foundation for Environmental Education. And where typically it was mostly in the summer, but now we do it more throughout the year. We make sure to raise awareness around the issue of plastic pollution when it comes to the Moroccan coastline. But in addition to that, we also facilitate concrete action when it comes to the collection, but to reduction first, and then collection and recycling of plastic waste that is present, and whether it is at the beach, but also or the coastline, but also before it gets there. So that's one of our central strategic elements. And I'm mentioning that because each time we make sure to have this cross-sectoral approach through science, with collaboration with academia, with experts, with the private sector, with youth. We work, of course, closely with the Ministry of National Education, Preschool and Sports, but we also work with summer schools and summer camps as well. And the boys' schools. We work with the surfers. We work with the divers. We make sure that it is as cross-sectoral as it can be to apprehend and address this issue. And the very last point, I don't want to be too long, I will say, is that, of course, Morocco is part of Africa. So whenever we have an African-wide initiative, we also make sure to also engage Moroccan representatives in those initiatives. Hatim was referring to both the African Green Universities and Youth Education Network, or the African Youth Climate Hub, and we're always committed to making sure that happens. Because our focus is on education for sustainable development by the environment. And we want to make sure that we avoid silos. Expertise needs to be respected, but silos need to be brought down. And we are quite well positioned to help doing that. I hope that addresses the question. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have another question for Hatim. So Hatim, as a young reporter for the environment and now a member of AGMIAN, how have the Foundation's programs contributed to your academic and personal development?
Well, academically speaking, I'm pursuing a degree here at Al Khawain, the engineering and management degree. But at the same time, I minor in renewable energies and sustainable development. I'm currently a lab coordinator at the Renewable Energy and Sustainability Laboratory, which is an opportunity that is given to me because of the long sheet of experience with the foundation and the community. I think that's academically, of course. The young reporters, beside my academics, I've started my own venture. I don't say this much, but now we are in a beautiful time where everybody could create solutions to many problems because we have the means and we have the knowledge. And I've contributed to 2 startups so far. One is called Yaz Agricultural Solutions. I founded the startup. It was all about hydroponics and AI, and now it's under new leadership. But I'm very happy to found it. But now I'm contributing to www.beacon.org, which is a platform that connects young people and organizations to opportunities, local events, and mentorship opportunities. So I think these programs are very crucial to my self-development, both academically and everything I do parallelly. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your answer. I will go back to Mr. Edwin. Could you share key examples or approaches that have proven effective in mobilizing youth engagement and fostering inclusive capacity building in the field? Mr. Edwin, are you still with us?
Thank you, Hassan. Yeah, I think to make sure that youth activities or examples of youth engagements that are proven successful, I think IOC does this by making sure that youth are involved from the beginning. As I mentioned in my intervention, that we co-design youth-led initiatives. So we make sure that the youth are involved from the start, and we get to know and understand what really their needs for capacity development and building are. And we tailor specific training opportunities or workshops that suit these kind of needs that the youth come. So we do it from a level of first, we put them at the beginning in terms of engagement so that we can understand their needs. And then we co-create with them the solutions and the initiatives and the workshops or capacity development initiatives that will really fill or will really address these needs. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So thank you to all the speakers. All of your interventions were amazing. And we're all looking forward to hearing from you soon again. So Samson, I'll now hand you over the stage for the second roundtable.
Yes, sure. That's really a perfect first roundtable. Interesting contributions, and then panel discussions from the speakers, and then the questions and the answers. Really exciting to see all of this great work being done. So we go straight to the second roundtable, and then the second roundtable we just going to be discussing youth leadership in marine conservation. Youth leadership in marine conservation. I've got 2 exciting speakers for this. We've got 2 exciting speakers for this particular session. And then the first speaker is Miss Evgenia Kostiner. She is the ECOP Program Global Coordinator, as well as the consultant at an Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO. So a brief biography about her is that she's the consultant at the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO, the IOC-UNESCO, and a global coordinator of the Early Career Ocean Professionals Program under the framework of United Nations Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainability Development. So she's been deeply committed to ocean sustainability. She actively works to strengthen global professional networks and enhance capacity building opportunities for early careers and for early career ocean professionals worldwide. And she holds a master's degree in environmental science and has collaborated with the United Kingdom Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, that is DAFRA, on assessing the impact of extreme weather events on food supply chain. So this particular roundtable 2 is expected to shed more light or highlight the commitment of young environmental leaders who go beyond raising awareness to actively educating and mobilizing their peers for the protection of ocean as a shared resource. So first on the panel, on the roundtable session is Mrs. Evgenia Kostania. So please, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samson, for this beautiful introduction, and hello, everyone. This is really a pleasure to be speaking today at this very important and inspiring event, and thank you so much for this organization and to all of the panelists. That was already really a huge learning experience for me. So I'm the global coordinator of the ECO program. So we are an official endorsed program for early career ocean professionals under the UN Ocean Decade. So we are an endorsed program. And obviously we work very closely with IOC-UNESCO and specifically with IOC Africa, with Edwin and the whole team at IOC Africa for support of early career ocean professionals, or ECOPs, in Africa. So just to give you some very basic stats about our program, we have over 6,200 members, so ECOPs around the world in 163 countries. For Africa, we have over 1,500 ECOPs, and we have established 11 nodes, as we call them, national nodes in Africa. So we have Africa node coordinator, and 11 national node coordinating teams. Now, I can say that there's a huge really interest from Africa, from ECOPs in Africa, to be part of this global movement, so of the ECOP program and of the UN Ocean Decade in general. I think the UN Ocean Decade, so I fully agree with what Edwin has been already saying. I think the UN Ocean Decade is really an amazing global initiative that has supported so many great initiatives, also supporting ECOPs around the world. I think this is really a revolutionary step in supporting ECOPs, which I think has not been done to that extent before the UN Ocean Decade started. So we're really very grateful to the IOC-UNESCO, who really supported this initiative to create a separate program for ECOPs, as well as to all of our partners globally and also in Africa. We've done several capacity development courses, co-arranged through the financial support of NORAD, Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation. And we co-arranged those capacity development trainings in Africa with support and in partnership with Ocean Teacher Global Academy, with International Ocean Institute and their South African node, with GOGME, Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute, and we partner with Ocean Teacher Global Academy, with Mohammed VI Foundation, and with WIO-ECSN, so the Early Career Researchers Network of WIOMSA, and many others as well. So I think what this participation in the Ocean Decade has given us is this ability to be connected to many international organizations and to be able to have ECOPs in various working groups, so that they have some opportunity to be part of those high-level processes. So examples of this include now the participation of ECOPs from our program in the Ocean Decade Vision 2030, which was a process which was happening last year to reevaluate the path towards 2030 and set up strategic ambition to achieve the Ocean Decade challenges. And the groups, so there were 10 working groups, and they were open to have ECOPs from all over the world in their working groups to participate in setting up this strategic ambition. The UN Ocean Decade Barcelona conference that happened last year, for example, they had really the intention, the goal to have ECOPs in their panels, and there were a lot of ECOPs that were involved as speakers, that were involved as moderators, speakers, panelists in various side events of the conference in April last year. And now we're also working with different Ocean Decade mechanisms like Ocean Prediction Decade Collaborative Center, for example, and they also asked us to help them find ECOPs with the expertise to become part of, to become members of their working groups for regional seas, including the African seas, as they call their working group on Africa. So I think we have this unique position to connect with many international organizations and regional organizations, stakeholders, national entities, but also to listen to our ECOPs and have many initiatives and projects coming up with the bottom-up approach. I think the main focus of our activity is really capacity development. So as I've mentioned, we've done certain courses with the support of NORAD and with support of Mohammed VI Foundation and ODGA, etc. And we continue to do that. So we've done several technical courses on ocean data analysis, oceanographic survey techniques. We have plans for this year as well, because there's really huge interest. These courses are free for our participants. We were doing them online. Now we are moving to blended courses or in-person courses, because meeting in person is always better for learning experience. But I can tell you that there's a huge interest from ECOPs in Africa to have those opportunities available. And in this regard, we have thought that it would be really important to gather all these very useful opportunities in one place. So we have a website, ecopdk.org. We have a dedicated page for your Africa node, and we started to gather various opportunities on funding, on capacity development, on networking, on various calls for engagement. And we started to collect them all on our website. So we believe that such database will really change the situation and will make capacity development in general, and also the opportunities for ocean innovation skills, blue entrepreneurship, and general ocean science more accessible to ECOPs, both globally and in particular in Africa. And I can share the web links, if it's possible, in the chat, so that you can also have access to those resources that we currently have. And again, I can tell you much more about what we are doing, but I know we are very limited in time, so I'll be very happy to answer any questions in the chat. And again, thank you so much for having me today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
There seems to be a sound issue. Sorry, I don't know if it's just me, but the sound is quite terrible currently.
Yes, Samson,
It's
I
a very
think you
bad
have an
sound.
issue.
There's a lot of noise that makes us feel we're back in the 80s or something, in a science fiction movie.
Okay, how about now? Is it better?
Okay,
That's
now
far
it's better. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm an 80s kid myself, so I have nothing against the 80s.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling my attention to that. Thank you so much for calling my attention to that. But then, yeah, going back to Miss Evgenia, that was really, really, really super educative, and to see the level of work you've been doing, as well as the organizations you've worked for and the organizations you're working with. It's super, super educative. And then just looking at
definitely possible opportunities for partnership, collaborations, and all the audiences they have. So definitely we'll have questions for you when it's time to take questions. But then before we come back for questions, you could have your questions in the chat box. We're going to come back for that. The second speaker for this round table happens to be someone who I also interfaced with one time, and his name is Mr. Luis Camaro. He's African Youth Climate Hub Prize winner and an ambassador, the project lead at CIMO, and also interestingly is the fact that he's a final year engineering student. So Luis is a dynamic student entrepreneur and a project lead at CIMO, where he spearheads development of ocean intelligence using AI to uncover the mysteries beneath our seas. At CIMO, his work is pushing boundaries of how technology can help understand the ocean in unprecedented detail. Lewis is an Aish Prize winner, and with his innovation and project Savannah Pop, which produces tree-free paper, he proudly serves as an Aish ambassador and a two-time Earthshot Prize nominee. He has pitched his work across Kenya, Morocco, South Africa, Azerbaijan, Ethiopia, and Nigeria. Additionally, as an Ocean S Young Explorer, Lewis has contributed to around African expenditure and an inspiring mission endorsed by the United Nations Ocean Decade. I know we're super excited to see what Lewis has to say and then what he has to contribute to this round table. I'm super excited when I get to your student entrepreneurs talking, because the point of view it's always different. So Lewis, the floor is yours.
So hi Samson and hi everyone else. So you didn't read my question.
Sorry, Luis.
Hi Samson. So you didn't give me a question, but I guess I will talk about technology and the work that we're doing at CIMO. So CIMO, I lead a project called CIMO where we're building ocean intelligence, and basically what that means is we're developing AI that can understand everything that is in our waters, and our project is founded on the belief that innovation and technology are key in ocean conservation. And Africa happens, and we're building CIMO for Africa, and Africa happens to border vast and diverse marine ecosystems from the Indian, Atlantic, and Southern Oceans, and also the Red and Mediterranean Sea. This makes technology and innovation key tools in marine conservation. For instance, we can employ technologies like remote sensing and satellite monitoring for tracking illegal fishing and coral reef health. We can also use AI-powered data analytics, which is what we do at CIMO, to detect ecosystem changes and predict threats. And also we can use mobile applications for connecting coastal communities to report environmental violations and also contribute to citizen science. As you know, coastal communities have been protecting this really important ecosystem for a very long time, and they have the methods and ways which are mostly not documented, but ways that work when it comes to protecting marine life and protecting coastal ecosystems. Maybe we can even use blockchain for transparent seafood supply chain tracking, and also employ low-cost underwater drones and sensors for ecosystem monitoring. We can also use eDNA sampling, acoustic monitoring, just to mention a few technologies. There are so many other technologies that are being employed in ocean conservation, as I recently got a chance to see some of them about the Ocean Explorer, arguably the world's most advanced research vessel from Cape Town to Namibia. And on board, I was able to see like the robots that they usually deploy, the submarines, and the ship itself. It was really amazing. So the technology that we're building at CIMO is we are harnessing AI, artificial intelligence, which everyone has probably heard about. It has been the buzzword for the last 2 or 3 years, and we are using it in a very good way. We are harnessing it for the environment, and what we are doing is we're using it to analyze, to aid researchers and conservationists in the analysis of underwater footage. So, as human beings, how we usually interact with things, how we can say that we've seen something or explored something is through vision. And you can imagine us human beings trying to go and see the ocean, which is many kilometers wide. So maybe you might not know, but for every 4 hours of diving, which is the primary way we interact with the ocean, the primary way we explore the ocean, it takes up to 5 days to analyze the footage collected using manual methods. So manual methods being a human being in front of a computer trying to identify species, trying to say whether that's trash, whether that's species, whether that's supposed to be in this part of the ocean, or maybe even just trying to analyze the health of coral reefs and other underwater ecosystems. So our technology is used for the analysis of this footage, reducing the time it takes to gather insights from 5 days to just a few days, and it excels at identifying marine species, detecting oceanic waste, and assessing coral reef health. You can learn more about our work at CIMO on our website, www.cimo.earth, and CIMO is SEAMO, and also on our social media pages. Our mission at CIMO is to aid humanity in seeing the CIMO, and the African Youth Climate Hub has been instrumental in our journey. As an early stage incubator for climate-related projects, AISH provided crucial direction and reinforced our work, even when we were not certain about our product's market fit. They also provided us with a lot of opportunities to present our work on global stages like COP29, YSDC, and the Deep Tech Summit. And as Hassan mentioned earlier, it's always eye-opening to interact with people from around the world that are solving the same problems that you are, but with different perspectives. You really get to see you really get to see how they're doing it and then borrow something that could work for you. And looking ahead, I'm really optimistic about the role that technology and innovation will play in ocean conservation, and excited about the role that CIMO is playing in this future. We are in the ocean decade, and we are really dedicated to making sure that we achieve the ocean's goals by 2030. The preservation of Africa's marine ecosystems ultimately depends on this powerful combination of innovative technology, community engagement, youth leadership, and also support. So what I say unto all of you is stay curious and keep exploring. Back to you, Samson. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Louis. Super excited to hear everything you're saying. And it's one thing that I take away from your conversation is the fact that how you go back to give credit to these organizations which have, in one way or the other, supported your project, and as well as giving you that platform. It's really, really, really very important when we highlight the role of organizations and then role of policymakers to make sure that, yes, they're doing the work. And then it's really, really super excited to hear your story, your experiences, and how this organization has helped you shape your project and then shape everything that you have become today. It's really, really great. So I'll just got a couple questions. I'll come back to you, Louis. And this question, it's for Mrs. Kosteiner. So we know that
I think you have an issue with your mic, Samson. We can't hear you anymore.
Suspect there might be a connection issue as he's frozen for me.
Yeah, now it's perfect again. Okay, we can't hear you anymore.
In the meantime, I suspect he was about to get one of the, if I understood correctly, one of the questions to Evgenia. I don't know if Marjana had some indication as to which question that may be, so that Evgenia can address it.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the question is, the Early Career Ocean Professionals Network Program is one of the endorsed programs of the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, dedicated to empowering early career professionals across diverse ocean-related fields. Since its endorsement in 2021, the program has fostered a global network that strengthens the voice of new generations in ocean governance, research, and sustainability. How has the ECOP network program facilitated meaningful engagement for early career professionals in shaping ocean sustainability policies and initiatives globally and especially in Africa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you so much for this question. So I think that goes back to what I mentioned in my intervention, is that because we are part of the UN Ocean Decade, we have this very easy channel of communication with the various initiatives, actions that happen and sit under the UN Ocean Decade. So because of this tremendous support that the UN Ocean Decade, IOC-UNESCO, IOC Africa specifically are doing for ECOPS in Africa and globally, then we have various opportunities that we share with our membership. So examples of these opportunities are being part of some working groups. So the working groups to contribute to the Ocean Decade Vision 2030 process that happened last year. So the opportunity to become part of the Ocean Prediction Decade Collaborative Center, which is also part of the Ocean Decade framework. So with these opportunities, ECOPS get exposure to various mechanisms and organizations, working groups, and through this, they can share their experience, but also learn from established professionals. So I think this obviously helps them to meaningfully engage with various processes. But also what we have seen in this past year, since the beginning of the decade, is that more and more organizations, conferences, they do make sure that ECOPS are part of side events, part of panels, part of even the organizing committees. So as you all know now, I think everybody's really preparing for the One Ocean Congress, One Ocean Science Congress, and UN Ocean Conference in Nice. And we do get a lot of requests to have an ECOP as a panelist or moderator, speaker in those events there. So I think this is really a great achievement, and this is very important for ECOPS.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's an honor to have an ECOP with us today. I have another question for Mr. Lewis. So how is innovation and technology transforming marine conservation in Africa? Specifically, how does your work at CMO and your involvement with the African Youth Climate Hub empower youth to lead innovative solutions in ocean sustainability?
So hi again. So I probably touched like on most of it during my first intervention, but again, what we are doing at CIMO is we're building ocean intelligence. We're harnessing AI, artificial intelligence, to build something that can understand everything that is in our oceans. So our technology excels at marine life identification and also ocean trash detection and also assessment of coral reef health. Aside from that, the African Youth Climate Hub has been really instrumental in helping us spread our wings, helping us grow from just being a project to a project that can have international impacts. They have given us numerous opportunities to showcase our work, to build our networks actually, there was a consultation last year in September, whereby CIMO, I was honored to present the consultation work of over 700 Africans. I was honored to present the findings with the Moroccan ECOP coordinator in Morocco during the inaugural Africa Ocean Week in front of ministerial delegations from all across Africa. And I am really grateful to the African Youth Climate Hub for all of that. And yes, so technology really has a big role to play when it comes to ocean conservation, because we can't scale human beings, but we can scale technology. So let's try and build technology that has an impact on our ocean. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Indeed, everything that you've said is very inspiring and impacting. And so I think we might need to speed up a little bit. And so I think we'll have to move on to the third roundtable, entitled African Innovations Driving Inclusive Partnerships for Sustainable Development. So this session will highlight how African initiatives in ocean sustainability serve as catalysts for both local and global innovation. So by focusing on pioneering marine conservation projects and integrating traditional ecological knowledge with modern science, this session will demonstrate how inclusive partnerships drive sustainable ocean management and contribute to broader sustainable development goals. So we will have one speaker on this session because Mrs. Hatimi won't be able to join us today. So our speaker of the session will be Mr. Patrick Jeju. Again, I'm sorry if my pronunciation is not the best. So PhD candidate in Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences at the University Institute of Fisheries and Agriculture at the Sheikh Anta Diop University in Dakar. He also teaches fish anatomy and morphology at the Institute, as well as fisheries biogeography with particular emphasis on the systematics of species landed in Senegal. Mr. Patrick, the floor is yours. Mr. Patrick?
Jumping in for trying to help moderator support. I don't see him as one of the panelists, unless I'm mistaken. Maybe he's not. Maybe we need to promote him. I don't know if he's in the participants list, but he's not. Let me check for his name. No, I don't see him. So if that's okay with you, Marjana, let's switch to the next roundtable so that we don't delay further our dear colleagues from for the next session.
Yes, I think that he have some issues in his connection.
In his connection, okay. So let's move on to the next roundtable, and then hopefully he's back and we can come back to him.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. I think Samson still has issues with his data, because he said he was in charge of this one. So
yeah, he's back online, but he's muted. I saw his face. I saw his face, but he's muted.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll check with his if he has a micro problem. Okay.
That showcased that inclusion matters, but unfortunately, even with technology, as was indicated really well by Lewis, technology is important and is useful, but sometimes technology can be a bit of an issue as well. But that's something we need to take into account, of course. Okay, so
okay, I think it's okay. I will take the lead on the fourth one because apparently he still has an issue with his mic. Okay, so the fourth and last roundtable today will be a roundtable entitled Training and Capacity Building for Global Impact. So the objective of this session is to propose the necessary approaches to anticipate and address the challenges of sustainable development with a strong emphasis on training and capacity building. This workshop will enable all stakeholders to better understand the skills required to support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Our first speaker will be Mr. Fouad El-Aini, Program Specialist, Francophonie Institute for Sustainable Development. Are you with us today, Mr. Fouad?
Yes, you can hear me?
Yes, perfect. You can go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Marjana, for this introduction. I am Fouad Laini. I am a program specialist in the OEF, this International Organization of Francophonie, and we are dealing mainly with Central Africa. So just I would like to say that it is with a great pleasure that I take the floor today on this inspiring event organized by the Hassan II International Environmental Training Center, UNESCO, and the Foundation for Environmental Education. In my intervention, I will highlight the importance of the role that African youth play in building a sustainable future and reflect on the transformative potential of African innovation and how they can shape a more environmentally friendly future. But how this innovation can act as catalyst for sustainable development, both locally and globally. What we are experiencing on the ground through our program in OEF is that African innovation, often designed in environmental market by resilience, respond directly and relevantly to the basic needs of people and communities, like a sector like access to water, energy, health, education, food security. They are participatory, adaptable, and above all, are deeply rooted in local context, that it came from the real need from the community and from the country. And so this innovation make it possible to respond to concrete needs, create sustainable jobs, particularly in the green, circular, and digital economy sectors, and to empower community through decentralized technologies such as solar grids or waste-to-energy system. On a global scale, they have considerable potential to inspire. They offer models for regular innovation that can be replicated in other vulnerable regions, and also they actively participate in the global ecological transition. Furthermore, they reposition Africa as an actor of change, capable of influencing global development models. The International Organization of Francophonie is fully committed to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. It actively supports young Africans by providing them with technical, financial, and institutional support to make their innovation project a reality, strengthen the resilience of community, and accelerate the ecological transition. Among the flagship initiatives implemented, I would like to mention three. The PTDTE project led by OEF, the Institute of Francophonie for Sustainable Development, EFDD, which has trained and reinforced the capacity of more than 800 young scientists, technicians, and engineers in Cameroon and RDC, 30% of whom are women, in environmental technology adapted to African reality. The project also supported 120 innovation leaders and connected 100 SMEs with these young people to promote the scaling up of local solutions. Project P19 also support for environmental initiative in the Congo Basin, which supports local and regional environmental initiatives with a focus on promoting sustainable agriculture and strengthening the resilience of community and ecosystem. This project has already enabled more than 500 young people to be trained, coached, and supported in the implementation of their innovative project in various fields related to the environment. And finally, the program of the Institute of Francophonie for Education and Training, IFEF, of the OEF. This is an institute of OEF also, based in Senegal, which strengthens the employability of young people, especially young girls in the green and blue sector, through technical and vocational training programs. This initiative constitutes a strengthening foundation for the emergence of young people who are actors of change and leaders. This brings me to the second part of my intervention, and the question, what role do education, research, and cross-sector partnership plays? Education is the starting point. We all agree that education is a starting point and train and reinforces the capacity of a generation that is aware of environment, climate, and social issues, equipped with technical, entrepreneurial, and critical skills necessary to design appropriate solutions. But research from its side, and from the other hand, not only make it possible to develop solutions adapted to African countries and realities, but also to promote indigenous knowledge, which is often not very visible in traditional scientific channels. It is also essential for assessing the impact of innovation and improving their replicability. And in this regard, I would like also to share with you and to highlight a remarkable initiative that OEF on the ground in the Central African region is implementing, and which is the launch of the Living Labs on Eco-Innovation for Sustainable Agriculture in the Congo Basin. These Living Labs are collaborative spaces where researchers, young innovators, local community, and technical partners co-construct environmental solutions based on the reality on the ground. These laboratories promote experimentation, the promotion of local knowledge and technology transfer, while strengthening the capacity of young people to innovate sustainably in the service of their territories and communities. It is a concrete approach to action research in the direct service of the resilience of ecosystem and population. To date, we have 3 laboratories implemented in Congo, in RDC, and in Cameroon. 2 others will follow in Gabon and Central Africa. And Centrafrique. Finally, cross-sectoral partnerships are essential to ensure coherence and amplify effort by joining forces with governments, the private sector, NGOs, and academic institutions. We can create an innovation ecosystem that scales up, avoid redundancies, and maximize impact. In conclusion, Africa is more than ever a land of innovation, solution, and hope. Thanks to the energy of its youth, the support of committed organizations such as the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection, OIF, UNESCO, and other technical and financial partners. Our collective responsibility is to strengthen this dynamic and to support it. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fuad, for your intervention. We'll move on to the second panelist. So Alejandro Kilpatrick, expert on sustainable development and climate change, capacity building, and international negotiations. A Mexican national, has a background as an environmental engineer with a master's degree on environmental management with a working experience of close to 25 years. So with such an experience, I'm really looking forward to having your valuable perspective. Mr. Kilpatrick.
Thank you, Marjana. It's a pleasure to be here, and big thanks to colleagues and friends in the foundation, Ayman and colleagues, for this kind invitation. We're very proud and happy to have this very good collaboration with the foundation that has matured over the years through many initiatives. So it's a pleasure to be here. Maybe just a couple of comments based on the subject matter, and I wanted to touch upon a bit the issue of synergies. There's a lot of talk about synergies between the environmental conventions, the multilateral environmental agreements. Usually, I'm from the Climate Change Secretariat, we usually focus a lot on the synergies between biodiversity, sustainable land management, and climate change. But we also need to be mindful and that there are other so-called multilateral environmental agreements, like those that pertain to the subject matter of this event in terms of coastal zone management, pollution, plastic pollution, the new treaty on plastics. So what I wanted to say is that maybe for young people can be a bit overwhelming, and it goes back to what one colleague mentioned, that we have so many agreements, so many treaties, working on so many different topics. But at the end of the day, I think there is an important need to make sure that all these efforts are articulated in the best possible manner. For example, if we look at an ecosystem like mangroves that are related to coastal zone management, managing sustainably those mangroves is a multiple win for different environmental agreements. Maybe we don't realize it because it's not like communities have an idea of that any given country has developed an NDC or a National Biodiversity Action Program or other types of instruments. But if you have as a mindset the sustainable management of this ecosystem or this mangrove forest as a priority because it has benefits for the population, then you're on a very good basis. And then that means that this is related to capacity building, because then you have maybe to incorporate in any training programs or capacity development activities the notion of what are the benefits for people of managing in a different manner a particular ecosystem or a particular type of territory. Going back to the mangroves. So mangroves are beneficial to people because they prevent tidal surges when there are extreme events. They're beneficial because they also serve as reservoirs of different type of natural resources, some, for example, food or other types of things. They're beneficial because they can be of a tourist attraction for foreigners that come to the country to visit the mangroves, and that generates income for the local communities. That's already very important. And then when you look at it from the perspective of the multilateral environmental agreements, then mangroves are very important for climate change because they help reduce vulnerability to extreme weather events. They're useful also for carbon sequestration. When you look at it from biodiversity, they serve as habitats for very valuable species. And in terms of coastal zone management or land management, they also are ecosystems that prevent the loss of lands or of coastal erosion. So I think what I'm trying to say is when dealing with young people and empower them to take action in the context of multilateral environmental agreements, you have to look at it from the perspective of not having to understand every single acronym or every single instrument that the UN comes up with. I mean, the UN, I mean, the countries and with the UN, because it can be overwhelming. So synergies is about finding the common benefit for people mostly, and then the rest comes on its own. In that sense, I wanted to mention that at least in the context of the so-called 3 Rio Conventions, we're working together on a joint Rio Conventions capacity building program to precisely try to do that, to help not only young people, but all stakeholders, national stakeholders, understand what are the benefits of doing things in a synergistic manner. And of course, the benefits are obvious from the benefits to social development, but there are also benefits in terms of effectiveness and transaction costs. And we have evidence to say that when you do things synergistically, they actually save money instead of 3 groups of people doing 3 projects on the 3 conventions at the same time. If you pull all these resources together for a common project, then you reduce the cost, if you want to see it from that perspective. So in that joint capacity building program, the Rio Conventions I mentioned, we're trying to first develop tools for stakeholders to understand what are those intersections. Where are these mechanisms from the 3, in this case, the 3 Rio Conventions intersect, and how this can be translated into concrete actions. What are the ways of accessing finance for synergistic projects? The issue of indigenous peoples, for example, is common in all the conventions. So it's not rocket science, but the international treaties have become so complex, so big in terms of their structures, that even at national level, there is not enough comprehension of the instruments. So we're trying to help countries to do that. There is a webpage of the Joint Capacity Building Program, and we can share the link maybe later to our participants. Something else very important that I wanted to mention, and it's really focused on young people, is the Youth for Capacity program, which is a program that we are implementing with the very generous financial support of the government of Italy. It's a 5-year program. It's entering its 3rd year. And its focus is, as its name says, to help build the capacities of young people to undertake climate action. So it's a program that's really looking at skills that can be multiplied, because we cannot reach young people in all countries, but trying to the existing constituencies of the UNFCCC, Young and others, try to generate a set of skills through mentorship programs, through dedicated training sessions, so that those could be taken down to the regional and community level. And this year is very exciting, because actually we're collaborating very closely with the foundation. Thanks, Simon. in a big event that will actually take place in Morocco in July this year, precisely as a joint collaboration between the Mohammed VI Foundation and us, the UNFCCC, with the generous support of the government of Italy, on this Climate Leadership and Innovation Conference, which is, and the subtitle is Capacity Building for Young People to Effectively Engage in Climate Action. So we'll bring together with, we'll combine efforts on activities that are already being undertaken by the foundation, and we'll bring in the Youth for Capacity program to bring African youth from the continent to benefit from this program. And we're really looking forward to that. And I also want to congratulate the organizers of this event, because it's really amazing to see how the wonderful things young people are doing. I keep hearing artificial intelligence, innovation, and I think that's something that is really refreshing when you hear from young people actually doing things on the ground or on the sea in this case, because we're talking about coastal zone management. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think if I could just remember one specific thing from what you said is the word synergy, to be more efficient, to have a better impact, a better social development. And yeah, thank you very much for your intervention. We'll now move on to the last panelist, Sofia Larisi, who is an ocean governance expert, early career researcher, and passionate advocate for ocean conservation and preservation. She specializes in the law of the sea and its synergies, again, with international investment law, and is currently a PhD researcher at Qadi Ayyad University in Marrakesh, Morocco. Sofia, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Marjana, for the introduction. I hope you're hearing me well.
Perfectly.
I think I've sent my presentation in case we can share it from your side.
Yes, sure.
I am the only one sharing the presentation. Excuse my academic background.
Let's see. I don't think you can see it.
We can see it.
Okay, it's getting done. 1 second. Okay, perfect. I think now everything's settled.
Okay, so first of all, thank you everyone for the preparation, organization of such interesting event, and of course for giving me the space to share some thoughts on capacity building and youth, and why empowering young people is essential for the future of our continent, but also for the ocean conservation as well. Moving to this slide, I would say that the first question that arises is why capacity building? I'd say that in Africa, young people constitute up to 60% of the population. But through different surveys, youth consultation, dialogues, B2B discussions, we see that many still face limited access to information, resources, training opportunities to actually participate in ocean science, governance, or action. And in this context, the UN Ocean Decade see youth not only as beneficiaries, but also as key actors. And there is where the ECOP program comes in to highlight and promote the role of youth and early career ocean professionals, because they will bring the energy, innovation, local knowledge, and real life experience. The thing is that what they need are principally the tools, the platforms, and the support to fully engage in this mission. And this is why capacity building is essential, because it is the bridge between the potential youth hold and the action they can initiate and lead. Can we move to the next slide, please? Now, contrary to what many may think, capacity building is not just about technical knowledge. It's also about shaping confident and complete ocean leaders. And for this, we must equip youth with technical skills, of course, such as marine sampling, understanding oceanographic data, legal and governance framework, or also writing grant proposals. But we also need to enhance their soft skills, such as leadership, teamwork, public speaking, time management, and strategic communication, because this will help to build trust, collaborate effectively, and translate the knowledge into meaningful impact. And last but not least, we also need to work on connecting youth to network and mentors. And through programs like ECOP, we create those opportunities to collaborate, co-create, and learn from both peers and professionals. Next slide, please. Now moving to some concrete examples from some youth-led initiatives where I was able to participate in, benefit from, or co-coordinate. We can talk about, for example, training by ECOPs for ECOPs, such as the hybrid training on Introduction to Oceanographic Survey Techniques and Data Management, in partnership with, as Eugenia priorly said, with Ocean Teacher Global Academy, IOC-UNESCO, or Aquabiotech in Mostar, Malta. And we also have another training, which is the Ocean Literacy for Blue Citizenship, which is actually a pilot project in Europe aiming to strengthen ECOP's understanding of their roles as citizens with rights and duties towards the ocean preservation and conservation, and but also to make them understand their ability to engage in policy making. And we are looking forward to implementing it in other regions, such as Africa. Next slide, please. And as part of the ECOP Ocean Literacy Global Task Team, we also advocate for the inclusion of a dedicated article on ECOPs and youth roles in transmitting ocean science within the first international framework related to ocean literacy, which is the Venice Declaration on Ocean Literacy in Action. And we also translated it into 14 different languages, making it more accessible. But we also organize online workshops and informative sessions on topics like ocean governance and policy, ocean literacy and principles, or Blue Horizons, sharing some grant and fellowship opportunities. Next slide, please. Now, at the regional level, at ECOP Africa, we launched the Capacity Building Hub and the Ocean Literacy Hub as platforms to share African aquatic knowledge, stories, and training opportunities. And we are currently working on developing their respective websites. But we also have another project, which is the African Blue Curricula for Stewardship and Education, because we believe in the power of early education and how impactful it can be to integrate this ocean awareness and skills into formal education systems in Africa. Next slide, please. Now, at the national level, many awareness and debate activities have been conducted. And in Morocco, for example, thanks to Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Education and its academic arm, Hassan II Center, we had the opportunity to participate and engage as youth in different dialogues, ocean literacy activities. But for example, within ECOP Morocco, we also organize a campaign or a caravan, an awareness caravan called Campus Bleu, which aimed to equip Moroccan university students with critical thinking about ocean issues and solutions. Next slide, please. Finally, we also have some broader capacity building initiatives and workshops supporting a unified African vision, such as the Challenger 150 African Deepwaters Researchers Network creation and the lately developed Towards an African Roadmap for Marine Carbon Dioxide Removal workshops. Well, with all of these, we can see that there are several efforts to help youth to get the skills, knowledge, and tools to learn, link, and lead within the framework of the UN Decade. And as a conclusion, I would want to recall that as preserving and conserving our ocean, capacity building is not an option, it's a shared responsibility. And this is why I invite all of us, institutions, decision makers, educators, to respect and recognize youth as valuable partners, but also to support, invest in them, and co-create with them as well. And last but not least, I probably don't share your t-shirt, but I believe that, as we've seen, we share different synergies and the will to engage and empower youth, because they are not only shaping the future, they are driving change in the present, such as Lewis, Samsam, Marjana, or Hatim do. So thank you very much. And if you want more information, please just reach out to those different emails. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your valuable words. It's really heartwarming to hear from you today. Before going into the outro, I would like to ask you one simple question. So how has ECOP Morocco effectively mobilized local professionals and stakeholders in the fight for ocean sustainability?
Okay, I would answer that for now we are still a baby, so we are still developing our network. We try to engage as much as we can university students, but as I said, since we launched this university campaign, we're aiming to have ocean literacy dialogues in different regions of Morocco, but we also participate, with the help and support of the Mohammed VI Foundation and its academic arm in several dialogues in order to bring the voice of young people in Morocco to the, for example, ocean conservation and preservation policy making, or just by improving their participation in different projects as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Just before diving into the outro, I would just simply want to ask one last question to Mr. Alejandro Kilpatrick. So could you please share examples of how international frameworks or processes have integrated youth capacity development to drive long-term sustainable climate action? Mr. Alejandro, are you still with us?
Marjana, I think he left.
Oh, okay, perfect. Because he was still there a few minutes ago. It's okay. Samson said he was going to take the lead for the outro. Samson, are you still there?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. And then so sorry about Elliot being terrible network at my own place over here, but then good thing to be back again. So quick and following from all of the conversations that have been shared today, and then a warm big thank you and thumbs up to all of the organizations who've been doing a lot of work, starting from the Hassan 2 Environmental, going to the ECOP, going to as well as youth-led innovations from Lewis, talking about organizations like the International Blue Flag, which is the director who is a foundation for environmental education, talking about UNESCO and everything. And just one point from this, the major point from this side event is the target for synergy. And then when we talk about the target for synergy is how organizations can continue to see how they can partner together, how they can work, and how we can harness the potentials and harness every given opportunity that it takes to put African youth at the forefront of ocean protection. This is because we know that when it comes to Africa and then when it comes to defining ocean protection, we are quite a bit aback compared to Europe and then all of the continents. So this is more reasons why it's putting African youth at the forefront is one major cross point that must be taken into note heading into the future, as well as every other ocean protection program that has been going on. And like I mentioned earlier, as a cross-program synergy that calls for sustainable education and environmental stewardship. And I love the fact that so many of the speakers ended with a call to action, because it is not just to come and have a side event where we all are just talking or sharing opinions or just trying. It is what I have seen from this side event that we see people who are not just saying, but have also seen how they've implemented these things, these policies that they have proposed, and are also looking for innovative ways to improve on what is already existing. So big thumbs up to everyone and to everybody for the work they are doing. I'm sure with this, in no soon time, we would definitely have African youth leading the forefront of ocean protection. And once more, big thank to all organizations that have been supporting, because going back to the story of Louis, one of which I know I captured before, was part about how organizations were able to support this project, this innovative solution he's got, and then we could see how much of our potential and contribution this is made in terms of ocean protection for Africa. So it's really, really great to be part of this session and then to witness all of these things. I believe we are already a step ahead. Definitely. Thank you.
Yes, for sure. I think it's a really good point to put this first on, the call for action, not just sharing perspectives, points of views, and ideas and opinions. It's also about actually taking action. So as I always say, being a young age doesn't limit your impact, but it fuels it. So for example, me as an 18-year-old, I'm just so grateful and so happy to see that my voice is being heard and my impact is still there, even though I started this journey 3 years ago. It's just such a valuable thing to participate to this type of initiatives and see that youth are actually like involved in this field, and it's really heartwarming. And so to finish up this wonderful side event, I would like to thank you all for joining us today and being part of this important conversation on sustainable education and education for sustainable development. We hope you're leaving with fresh ideas, renewed inspiration, and actionable steps, as we were talking about earlier, to help drive lasting change in our communities and classrooms. So I think we should all remember that sustainability in education isn't just a goal, it's a shared responsibility and a path forward. So as I heard it once in the National Operators meeting in 2023, it's not about the result, it's about the process. So yes, again, thank you all for joining, and until next time, take care and keep pushing for a better and more sustainable future. And it was an honor and a pleasure for me to be with you today. Thank you, Samson, for co-moderating this event with me, and thank you all for joining. Panelists, audiences, thank you for your questions. Thank you for everything, and have a great day.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Marjana. Thank you, everyone.